Okay. It's really exciting that everyone's here, and I think Graham has alluded to, for me, going forward, it's about supporting services to be doing this treatment themselves, and that's a big impetus for me. I've got a plan with one of the prisons within the next few months to actually get the 2 GPs there with the pharmacist delivering and giving treatment to patients, and I think that's the way forward, I think with drug services as well. I think Helen Hampton's here today, a lot of experience in the Southwest, so I think for the workshops she's going to be paramount. It's really learn from each other. And I think these conferences are really key to liaise with each other and look at plans of actions, because you're all here together with the same aim to treat patients with hepatitis C. Now, last year, we've now got a bus, an outreach bus at King's, which has just started, and actually it's going to be brilliant. And we've got Sarah, the manager, we've got Catt, the team leader as well. And I think last year, it was supposed to be started, things happen, as you know, when you plan a programme, it gets delayed. So we at King's invested in a partnership with the Hepatitis C Trust, which has been phenomenal. And I think because of this, more and more of you are linking with peers. Peers are fundamental to reaching our people that have got hepatitis C who are marginalised. And I know I'm going to get Chris to speak, but I can't do this without John Gibbons at Find and Treat in Groundswell, who's been phenomenal as well. I know he's here, he didn't want to come and say anything, but John, thank you. So last year we engaged with King's, and they've got this peers to come and grab people to bring them to services. And so I said to Kosh, okay, we've got Chris, but what are we going to do? So we said, right, let me start a clinic on a Friday morning. It was easy access, no appointments, and patients just come in on a walk-in. And these peers are like dogs with a bone. Oh my gosh, they go and get them. And absolutely, I agree that we should be going in the outreach in the community, but there are still patients who've wanted to come to this clinic. I will show you the data at the end, which I think has been really good. But first, before we start about this, I want to get Chris to come and say what he's been doing.
Good morning. It's been great working with King's, and it's been absolutely fantastic working with the Hepatitis C Trust. I've been working in the drug and alcohol field for 11 years, over 11 years now, and that's been great as well. I think what's different right now is that I can meet somebody and I go to hostels, I go to all drug services. When I first started, I started doing peer talks, peer and test talks. So we was going in with a peer like Angie in the front there, and she would tell her story about how she contacted hepatitis C, you know, many years ago, and then engaged in services and started treatment. I'm losing my breath here. And it's been amazing. So we've been going into these places where people, I wouldn't say falling through the cracks, but they're just quite underserved client group. And I feel really emotional, really, you know, so I'm in it at the moment, but, and I engage them in a way that I make them feel worth something. I engage them, I get very, very close to them. So when I meet somebody and they come up positive for hepatitis C, I don't say to them, I'll get back to you in a week. I don't say to them, you know, I'll say to them, I'll get you an appointment on Friday. And they're quite taken away by that. But I don't just leave it there. What I do is I go and meet them, or I'll get a peer to go and meet them, and we handhold them into a service where they meet Janet. And we're turning over clients within 7 days. 7 days, they're getting met and they're starting their treatment. Like I say, it's been great working with the Hepatitis C Trust. It's been great doing this work. I feel really, really nervous. I didn't expect to feel like this. And the numbers that we got have been amazing, you know, so I think every week we're having 2+ people just coming back. It's not that they're just turning up and they're getting tested. They're turning up, then they're turning up a week later, getting their treatment. Then in 4 weeks' time, one of the peers will go out and meet the client. All the way through this, we're keeping contact with the phones, we're meeting up for coffees. You know, we're staying so close to them that, you know, so some people say you just go in, ambush them and drag them down to the clinic. Sometimes we have to do that. We're working with people with really, really, you know, so we've got quite a few cirrhosis clients, and they're right on the edge. They're not going to make it without some real hand-holding, arm around the shoulder, let's go and do this. And I don't think there's a better model at the moment than what we're doing. And the bus is amazing as well. So now we're going out into food shelters. You know, I stop people on the street. I know a lot of the client group within South East London. And I could just stop people, just saying, you know, do you want to test, da, 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 da. But most people say to me, I know that I'm positive. So I hear that a lot, right? A lot of people they know that they're positive. They already know they're positive. But they've been in services for years sometimes, and we know how difficult it is. I know how difficult it is in services. In trying to get someone to come and pick up their script, let them come and get their hepatitis. This is where we come in. I've got one job to do, and that's to get people from wherever they are to see Janet, to a clinic, get tested, and then to move on with their lives, basically. And what starts happening is they engage in a different way, and their drug treatment normally takes off, and they can usually get through a lot of stuff, and they start building goals for themselves. So within that, you know, it's about the hepatitis C treatment. By the end of it, they're building goals, and they're thinking, you know, I want to get clean, I want to go to detox, I want to get off of this. They ask to be peers, so we start training them up. And all of a sudden, they're going back into their own community, and they're spreading the message. I'm getting calls quite a lot. When I first started doing this, I handed out loads of leaflets. I blanketed services all over South East London with my card and posters. And more people have sort of just phoning me up, random people. I heard you got someone treatment, can you get me treatment? And that's how it's happening. It's just word of mouth is going out there. Treatment is really accessible at the moment. It's a great time. It's a great time to be in this field, to work with these clients, because we can say, we can do this. We can do this from week to week, and just step up and you just move forward. Well, I'll just move forward with the client. And they don't drag their feet. They don't drag their feet. They really want this. Clients really want to be free of hepatitis C, that's for sure. You know, and there has never been a better time in our history.
Brilliant. Just quickly look at some of the data. Graham also alluded to the pharmacists. They are crucial to any innovative projects, and we have pharmacists now going into shared care GPs as well. So this nurse-led clinic started in December 18, and if you look at this, I think this says a lot. We've already had 54 come in. I had 3 came in on Friday, and 40 have already started treatment. As you can see, the population is mostly male. Genotypes are what we expect, genotype 1 to 3. One came, but his viral load was too low to sequence for a genotype, which is going to make a huge difference when we don't need this blimmin' genotype, and we can just do RNA point-of-care tests and say, actually, we're going to start you with treatment today. That's what we're aiming for, and I know Graham's really positive about that. I think this also shows me there's 15 patients identified as cirrhotic by FibroScan. We've had 6 that have had decompensated liver disease. And I think that's because of, mostly that's driven by alcohol. You can see that, again, if you look at the numbers of women that came into the clinic, 13, 9 of them significant alcohol liver disease, and 6 of them with cirrhosis, and 3 of them had decomp. I think it shows on the streets how vulnerable these women really, really are. Endoscopy, 5 patients have attended. People would say this client group don't engage with services. Yes, they do, in the right way and with the right people to deliver it. You can do this. This is the results to date. We've had 20 with over SVR12, 11 are still on treatment, 1 relapse of a female. She's just had a resistance test, and it obviously is that she didn't adhere to medication. She's coming to see me again on Friday. 4 weeks, some of them, I think with this clinic and with this client group, we don't care if they DNA or don't turn up. The receptionists also now know that this client group, they just say it's Janet's clinic, they just walk them in. And so sometimes it might not be that they come the next few weeks, but they do get there, and so you just give them opportunities to turn up. Or I link in with the drug services and we say they've been approved for treatment, are you going to start them? And there's actually 4 came on Friday for their SVR, so that figure's gone down even more. And this, to me, makes it, this is why we do it, isn't it? I feel that you can read these yourself, but this is why we do this. They do really want to be treated. We can treat them, and it makes a huge difference to their lives. And for me, this is the outcomes that we need. And vulnerable groups in our society require equitable access to care. Using peers is so positive and it's workable, and more of you are using the peers, and I can't thank them enough. It does really work. Thank you.